Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of I Am I. My name is Joshua Ansley for the time being. And today, to be real practical for a minute, to stay here in this practical world, I got a flat tire last night. And so that was fun. And so I'm at Pep Boys right now. This may not look like I'm at Pep Boys, but I am. And, just taking care of business, handling the business of this world that has to be done in order for me to do what I'm doing. But I texted somebody last night that I got a flat tire, and this morning I got an email from Pep Boys about, 15% off, like, tire sale or some shit. And I was mentioning somebody, like, isn't that crazy? And they're like, that's not a coincidence, dude. That's algorithms, and that's them scanning your texts. And I'm like, holy shit, it's really happening. I'm not going to let myself get upset about it because that is the wave of the future. That's what's happening. Being aware of it is one thing, but, I'm not going to let it rip me apart. But it's fucked up. That is fucked up that they're reading my text. I don't think it's an assumption. I think that's not like a conspiracy theory kind of thing. That's pretty happening. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. But today, I want to, while I'm in the Pep Boys parking lot, I want to get really impractical. I want to get into some real esoteric shit. This is like a passion of mine and stuff that I don't really talk about that much because so much of my, recovery into self has been just trying to fucking take one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. And this is like way, way deep into it. Although sometimes there's a really great book that I'm reading. I just referred to some people called Breaking Down is Waking Up. And it's the parallels between mental breakdowns and spiritual awakening, basically. And it's pretty fantastic. And for those of us that have been in a mental institution and have had spiritual awakenings, we can see a lot of similarities, actually. Like the Marquis de Sade. They're going to try to lock people away. I asked my friend one time what he felt the difference was between insanity and spiritual awakening, and he was like, manageability. And I was like, good fucking answer. A real 12-step answer. And I like it. And I believe that's the case because there is sometimes this stuff is not personal. And if sometimes we unlock and open up into the cosmic flow of energy that actually cannot be handled by our nervous system, and it will fry that shit out. It happens in the Bhagavad Gita when Krishna takes his cosmic form and Arjuna is like, yo, come back. What happened? Come back to that physical body form that I knew you as because I can't handle it. You're melting my fucking brain, basically. So Krishna comes back down. And that's really what I wanted to get into, is like this understanding of, with these labels and everything, I don't like to say I am or am not because, I got into it that a couple weeks ago about people asking me if I'm atheist or if I'm Christian, and people think that I'm Christian because as soon as you say Jesus, I would not consider myself Christian. Although, if Christian in the real definition is living Christ-like, that dude was a badass motherfucking guru, and I would definitely be listening to his lectures right now, if that guy were around. But that's all he was. He was a spiritual teacher who had lived a bit longer, taken it a bit further, and learned a bit more, and he was trying to spread that. And some of his followers listened, and if we play the game of telephone, within a single fucking room by the time it gets to the other person, it's different. So, I don't know, between thousands of years and dumbass ignorant people, with all due respect, but we are just ignorant people, and men thinking they know what's best. And in that particular case, I say men and not necessarily humankind, because it's mostly the patriarchal society full of selfishness and greed, which is a general human nature, that's fine, that has really perverted and turned, all these amazing mystical concepts into organized religion and subjugation, and you should do this, and that's not, it's the exact opposite of that. But the fucked up thing is that it's understanding that if you throw the baby out with the bathwater, then you're fucked, then you ain't got no baby. And there's a baby in that bathwater. There really is. That's the crux of living an incredible life and towards ascension, really, on a real fucking mystical deep sense. So, talk about people like, oh, the Bible, it's bullshit. I'm like, sorry, but you're missing an entire, I get it. It is, and even if you say it's like, oh, or some people are like, it's a nice fictional story. I'm telling you, there is profound esoteric understanding in there, especially from studying Eastern philosophy now. So I want to bring some of those in at times. And one of the ones is definitely the book of Revelation, right? And I've mentioned this before once, I think, but the book of Revelation is not about the end of the world, and it's the end times, and everything's fucking happening, and there's hurricanes and earthquakes, and I'm just glad to know that all my fucking friends in Mexico, oh, todo mi amor, that they're all safe. It's not the fucking end times. On that note, we are just another species. We eventually will be eradicated. That's just how it's going to happen at some point, so just let that shit go, right? So the book of Revelation is not necessarily the end of the world, but the end of the world as we know it, as we ascend into higher levels of consciousness, right? And the big thing there is that there is a death of the old self. That's what it feels like. So the real true spiritual growth, a lot of times, when the ego dies, and there's some gurus will say it differently, right? This is just my understanding and my experience, maybe because I'm just fucking batshit crazy. But when the ego will put up its fight, when you put up your fight for thinking you are who you are, which you're not who you are. Who you are is almighty, joint heirs with Christ, right? It's because Jesus was a man who contacted the Christ consciousness or Krishna consciousness, higher level of consciousness than just this understanding that we have in this plane, in this world, right? And he contacted that, and he was trying to share that with people. There's a lot of fucking evidence and a lot of Eastern philosophy, like Paramahansa Yogananda, that believes, who started the Self-Realization Fellowship, who see him as a guru and as a teacher, and that there's a lot of evidence that, and if you study his teachings and you study other esoteric Eastern philosophy teachings and yogic teachings, there's a lot of similarities. The yoga, the yoke, Jesus talks about, I don't remember the Bible quote now, but something about his yoke, and that's this union. It's yoga. That's what yoga means, is to yoke, is to connect, right? So when you study his teachings and you study the Eastern philosophy, you actually see it a lot more clearly. And if you study the book of Revelation with an Eastern understanding, you start to see things like, the 7 seals that are broken, which are the 7 chakras, which as you ascend up into higher levels of consciousness through the chakra system. So actually, you know what? I want to say this too. I'm going to just leave it at that, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to mention more stuff more and more about the Bible that people are thinking. I mean, like when you talk about the Temple of King Solomon, it's actually a map, an outline for the esoteric understanding of the body. You're missing the fucking points entirely. It's some profound, deep shit that it's meant to be hidden because the other people are going to be obscure. It's going to obscure the people that aren't ready for it. Even the fact that religion is so fucked up and pushing people away, you're getting fooled if you're running away from these texts and things like that and thinking that they're all bullshit. You're missing out, right? But I am actually going to be teaching a chakra workshop at a new studio for the next 7 weeks in New Providence, New Jersey. And I'm actually going to do my chakra, I'm going to do all my classes for the next 7 weeks based on the chakras. So what I think I might do is actually do this vlog on the chakras for the next 7 weeks, because I'm running out of fucking ideas anyway. So and some people are like, I don't believe in the chakra system, and it's really not, there's nothing to believe in or not. I'll say this later, but it's about energy going through the body. It's our nervous system. There's nerves endings in the central nervous system, and there's energy running through the body, and where those things cross, where the nerves endings cross over, there's heightened more energy, more electricity running through the body. Same thing as in the energy in the earth's surface, and where ancient sacred sites are, where ley lines, energies in the earth's surface cross over each other, and there's heightened energy. That's where a lot of sacred sites are. Anyway, so I'm going to do that. It's going to be fun. We're going to be going through the chakra system and just getting into a little more esoteric understanding of the text, particularly the Bible. In Lakesh Lakin, I am you, you are me. Peace, bitches. What? Too much?